you so much for sitting with me today for that half hour of meditation and breathing exercises. Short sharing before we go. This past week, on the 8th, was Hanamatsuri. That is the flower festival. That's what that word translates to. In honor of the birth of the Buddha. And so people all around in different types of Buddhism celebrate the birth of the Buddha in different ways. But one thing I've been thinking about in the story of the birth of the Buddha and the kind of magical lore that comes with it, there's a story that the Buddha was born in Lumbini Garden, and when he was born, he takes 7 steps in each direction, points to the sky and earth, and says, "I alone am the world-honored one," which is kind of an epithet for I am the Buddha. And the realness of that story, or not, does not really concern me, but the kind of things I think about when thinking about a story like that, I find really wonderful to sit with. And in this week, I was, scrolling on Instagram and came past this quote that said, or I across this quote that says, "At each step, do what feels most clear and alive." And I'll put that in my stories because I forget who said it, but I'll put it in right after this. But at each step, do what feels most clear and alive. And I was thinking about that this week, especially as I'm at home, in my parents' house and dealing with sick relatives, dealing with a whole bunch of different things. Trying to figure out what feels most clear and alive to me at each step can be really difficult. It can be a lot of work, a lot of clearing away of my thoughts in order to find what's underneath. A lot of moving through my grief in order to reroot in the love that is generating it. And in thinking of, okay, what would I have to do to take 7 steps, point up into this heaven and earth, and really know I'm doing what feels most clear and alive to me right now. And in thinking of that birth of the Buddha and that birth of the aspiration to be clear and alive, to be right here, present with you and myself. There's another quote by Thich Nhat Hanh that says, the late Thich Nhat Hanh, that says, "The next Buddha will not come in the form of a person. The next Buddha will rather take shape of a community that practices understanding and loving kindness, a community that practices a way of conscious living. This will be, I think, most important to the Earth's survival," might be the last line of that. But in thinking of whatever you believe, this transformation of our idea of salvation into the reality of community, I find to be really beautiful to sit with, really wonderful, really deep and profound to think that nobody's coming to save us. What's going to save us is each other, our connection to each other, our love with each other. What's going to save us is how we dive into that love and how we're able to cultivate it and bring that with us throughout every day. So no matter if I'm home right now and dealing with hard things and beautiful things, getting to see my family in a long time, haven't seen them in a while, how do I bring that spirit of community that I've been so fortunate to cultivate in my personal spaces, in my chosen family, in my activist work, in my abolitionist practices, at my temple communities? How do I bring that with me as a foundation to be the healing factor that carries me and my people through the day? So that's what I've been thinking about this week, and I just wanted to share. Happy Hanamatsuri. Thank you so much for sitting with me today. It's always lovely to sit. I think I don't have my glasses on, so I can never really see the chat. But I feel like a couple new people popped up today, so that's nice. Usually people watch my sits after rather than live. So thank you. I see the little hearts bubbling up. I'm so glad you were here with me today. And I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. Thank you.